Good day, dental professionals. Welcome to the Dental Flow podcast. We are dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Your host, Benjamin Suggs, will be helping you navigate through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, actionable insights, and expert advice, all tailored to help you elevate your dental practice to the next level. If you're ready to dive in, so are we. Let's get into the flow.
Hello, and welcome back to the Dental Flow podcast. As always, I am your host, Benjamin Suggs, and we are recording this in December of 2024. The holidays are upon us. The kids are getting out of school, and if you're a parent like me, that means that you're going to have a lot less time to focus on your business for the next few weeks. But it also means that a lot less people are working, and there's more opportunity to take an overarching view of the businesses and dental practices that we have. So given that it's December 2024, there's no better time to talk about the subject of planning your dental practice's 2025 digital dental marketing plan. So we're going to go through what a comprehensive digital dental marketing plan could look like, and really focus on all the areas of your practice where you could be and should be utilizing digital channels to really drive those critical KPIs, those key performance indicators for your practice. Things like your production, things like your new patient numbers, your patient recall, your treatment acceptance, all that good stuff. So we're going to take a very digital focus on those things and identify opportunities for dental practices to leverage in the new year. So before we dive into it, I do want to say, there's three kind of overarching themes that I'd like you to keep in mind as we go through this. The first one is I'd really like you to think about, as we talk about these little things and channels and things you can be utilizing, is think about enhanced digital experiences. That is a term that we have started using to, when we look at, let's just use a real world example. Let's look at a text or an email that goes out from your practice to remind somebody of an upcoming hygiene appointment, or even one that's trying to remind them to schedule an upcoming hygiene appointment in your practice. So instead of just sending a text or an email that's very plain, why not record a video of your dental hygienist personally inviting that person to return? And it doesn't have to be, hey, Dave, I want you to come in and see me again. I'm your hygienist. It can be just a general video that is sent out to all the patients that come in through that hygienist chair. And it's more personalized. So really think about how you can create enhanced digital experiences by personalizing all of these little channels that we're talking about. Second, I really want you to think about how you can utilize automation in all of these areas. Automation, we never want to fully replace human interaction. It's very important in a dental practice to have human interaction, and it's more important in some areas than others. Obviously, treatment acceptance requires a heavy human interaction. Phone skills, another heavy human interaction. But there are a lot of ways that we can leverage automation to enhance our ability to succeed in these areas. Another thing I want you to think about is AI, and I would kind of lump that in with automation. But how can AI help you enhance these communications that you're sending out and having with these patients of yours? The third thing is it's not as sexy, but is HIPAA compliance. So as you think about all these communications to existing patients, new patients, all the things that are leaving your practice, really think about being very protective of your data. I'll give you an example. I've had several of our dental clients approach us and say, hey, can you start sending out communications to our patient base for reactivation and things like that? And honestly, if I worked with plumbers, I'd have no problem doing that. But with a dental practice, that requires them to take their database of information, transfer it to us so that we can use it in our platform to send out these reminders, emails, things like that. That's something you need to be very, very aware of and be careful about, is keeping your data in-house as much as you can and protecting it by utilizing systems that come in and leverage the data in-house versus pushing your data out. So those are the things that I wanted to point out as we jump into this. And now we're going to start with our number one area that you should be focused on. And before I do that, if you're listening to this on an audio podcast platform, we do have a video up on YouTube. We'll have a link to it in the notes. And if you can't see that, you can always just go to YouTube and search for Dental Flow Podcast, and we'll pop up and you can watch the video there. So if you want to see what we're talking about at the same time versus just listening to it. So number one, UX website design. UX is a term we use that is user experience. So what I want you to think about is think about your own website, your own dental website that exists out there today. And I really would like you to take a look at it, honestly. If you have a few hours over this holiday, take a break and take a look at it and ask yourself some questions about that website. First and foremost, is it a good representation of your business, of your practice? So I know you've spent a lot of time, a lot of resources, really building out the practice to be a certain way on the inside, to look a certain way, to attract a certain type of patient. So really think about, does that website reflect what you've built internally? That's number one. Number two is, does your website really have clear, concise calls to action? Is it really asking people to take a next step when they are viewing the website, which is to call you or to fill out your form or to, do your AI chatbot, whatever it is? Are you using offers? Honestly, if you really want to focus your website to be conversion focused, offers are a very powerful tool to do that. Even if your offer is just a free consult for cosmetic or implants or a free second opinion, really consider using some type of offer, especially one for people who don't have insurance. If I come to your website and I don't have dental insurance, hey, there's a good chance I haven't seen the dentist in a few years. So there's a good chance that when I do come into your office, there's going to be opportunities for treatment because I haven't been going consistently to a dentist because I don't have insurance. But think about giving that person some kind of a cash special offer up front to get them into that practice for the first time. Now, you don't want to do something that you're going to lose money on. That doesn't make sense. But you want to do something that will cover enough of your costs to have that person come in for the opportunity to give them that comprehensive exam and see what's going on in their mouth and what you would be able to fix for them. Next, I want you to really think about personalization. Do you have personalized photos? Do you have personalized videos? Videos are becoming very powerful for conversion on websites. More and more people are coming to these dental websites on mobile devices now. We in rural areas, sometimes we'll see 90% of the people that visit our website are on a mobile device. So really think about how you could leverage video, because we know there's statistics out there that say on a mobile device, only 20% of people will even read a lot of block text anymore. They may read some bullet points and things like that, but they're not going to read paragraphs and paragraphs of text. But if you have video there that can give them a quick 1-minute overview of the information they want to know, you have a much higher chance of converting them, and they're staying on your website longer than they would have had there not been a video for them to watch. So really think about how you can personalize with video content, with personalized photos, your website, to create more of a connection with people that makes them want to pick up the phone and call you. I just mentioned mobile. It's incredibly important. So really think about pulling out your phone and looking at your website on your mobile phone as well. How does it look? Is it formatted right? Does it pull up quickly? Does it make sense? Is it hard to read? These are all things that you need to think about, given that we know now that more people are coming to these websites on mobile devices than are on like a desktop or a desktop or laptop computer. So really think about your website. Is it conversion focused? Is it designed to convert? Ask yourself those tough questions, and if not, plan out what you can do to make it better. It's not always going to be on your website designer to do that. Honestly, I have clients that have been clients for a decade who've never sent us one personalized photo or one video or anything like that. So some of that goes back to you and what you can do in your practice to personalize your marketing. Okay, now we're going to jump into number 2, which is a very commonly known term, SEO, or search engine optimization. So do you have a plan for optimizing your website for organic search? Organic search means 2 different things. It's local SEO, which is, are you showing up on that map? That is the most important thing for dental practices. Honestly, you don't necessarily want your dental practice in Wisconsin showing up on searches that people are making in California. You want your dental practice showing up for searches being made right there in your town in Wisconsin. So local SEO should be your primary focus when you're talking about search engine optimization, showing up on the map, showing up locally for local searches. So really think about how you can localize your strategy for your practice. There's 3 main areas. Actually, we'll say 4 because video is one now. One is your on-page SEO. That's more technical stuff. So is your website technically built the right way to make it easy for search engines to read, categorize, and figure out exactly what it is that you do? Are your services laid out in a way that Google knows that you offer Zoom teeth whitening if someone's searching for Zoom teeth whitening in your town? Do they know that you can place implants and not just restore them if that is a service you're trying to sell and that's what people are searching for in your town? That's your on-page element, the technical SEO part. The second part is off-page. So this is creating links, backlinks, citations from big directories, basically sending more, we call it link juice. So domain authority link juice to your website by getting links in other places on the internet and having them linked to your page. You can do it through PR releases. You can do it through backlink requests, guest blogging, going to a charitable organization and making a donation and getting the backlink to your website. There's many, many ways to do this. And you want to look for good, high domain authority, reputable links to have them link back to your page. Next thing is content. So Google's putting a big focus on what they call topical authority, which means are you producing content on your website that shows that you are an authority on the topic of dentistry, or the authority on the topic of dental implants or cosmetic dentistry, veneers, whatever it is that you want to be doing more of in your practice. You want to make sure you're developing content that shows that you're the authority in your town for that service. So think about developing blog content, things that you can, put out into newsletters, put out into PR releases as well. But it's going to show Google that you are a content authority and an authority on the services that you're trying to sell. And then I also had video here because video is becoming a very critical part of search engine optimization. Google owns YouTube now. They've owned it for a few years. So they are putting more and more focus on getting people to be able to watch videos when they're searching for dental topics, like how much do veneers cost? So if you have a video about that, there's a good chance that Google's going to show that video to a searcher in your area. So really think about your video strategy as well for SEO, and especially local SEO. Number 3 is paid ads. Paid ads has traditionally been the most effective marketing channel we've seen for dental practices. The beauty of paid ads is that you can run it on different channels through their own management platforms. But the beauty of paid ads is that you can really be hyper focused with it, especially Google. So what I mean by that is when we're doing organic SEO, we're kind of driving a huge boat and trying to turn it very slowly to get to where we want to go. And it takes time to make that huge boat turn. With paid ads, though, we can be very, very effective in laser targeting the services that dental practice wants to sell. And I'll give you a perfect example of that with Google Ads. It's not uncommon that we'll have a client of ours reach out and say, "Hey, love what you guys are doing. The problem I'm having right now is that my hygiene is booked out for 5 months. So when people are calling and asking for a dental appointment for hygiene, a new patient, I'm basically telling them like, yeah, our first available is in 5 months. We can put you on a waiting list. But we're having a lot of people hang up the phone and call somebody else. So when that happens, what we can do is we can say, no problem. What we're going to do is we're going to take the budget for paid ads that you have, and we're going to refocus it on not hygiene new patients, but new patients that would be coming through the doctor's chair versus the hygienist chair. So we can focus on, services like root canal or Invisalign, dental implants, the other stuff that doctor wants to be doing that's not going to have to go through the hygiene chair and be in that bottleneck of an issue right there. So paid ads gives you that very hyper-focused ability. Another great thing about paid ads is if you are in a small town and your town isn't big enough to support your practice, so you need to pull patients from the other small towns around there, paid ads gives you that ability. So Google's never really going to make it easy for you to rank highly organically via local SEO in a town where you're not located. But with paid ads, you can show ads in that town and get people to come to your practice. So paid ads is very, very important. It's very effective. It can be expensive if not done correctly. And sometimes it's just expensive no matter what. It's all about whether you're getting a return on investment on it at the end of the day. So Google, number one place you want to do paid ads by far. YouTube, owned by Google, also very effective. The key with that is you just need some video content. If you don't have video content, you're not going to have any luck doing any ads on YouTube. Obviously, it's a video platform. But we are finding YouTube's a great way to get your brand blasted out there in front of thousands and thousands of people for very little money. So it really is a very effective brand building platform. So people will know more about you. But we're even having success getting people who are looking for information about, say, veneers, showing a video about veneers and getting them to call the practice and reach out and try to get a consultation. So video content also is very effective on Facebook and Instagram. Definitely. Those two platforms, we can run ads on them, but if you have video content, it's going to be much, much more effective to run that there than it is to run, just here's a nice graphic we made with an offer or whatever it is. We look at Facebook and Instagram. They do have some value as direct marketing value, not as much as Google, because people who are on Google are just higher intent, meaning they're looking for your service, versus someone who's on Facebook or Instagram is just on there doing whatever they do on those platforms. But it's really amazing to use brand building on those platforms. And one thing I would really encourage you, if you're spending money on Facebook and Instagram advertising, is really focus on your no-show rate. That is an issue that we've kind of seen a good bit of, is people who schedule an appointment via those channels versus Google are much more likely to not show up. And the likelihood for that is the cause of that is probably that those people were not high intent in the first place. They weren't looking for a dentist or a dentist near me or someone to pull a tooth or whatever it is. They just happen to be on that social platform doing their thing when we pop an ad in front of them. Bing is another area where you can run ads, very similar to Google, much lower. It has a much, much, much lower search share than Google. I think Google's at like 80%, Bing's at like 70%. And what I mean by that is percent of total searches in the United States. So there's some opportunity there. We've tested it. We've done some things. I think if you're trying to do a specialized ads around implants and things like that, there's more opportunity than just doing general dentistry advertising there. But Bing actually has a way that you can literally take your Google campaign that you're running and throw it onto Bing. They have a way where you can just import it right there and run the same campaigns on their platform. Retargeting is something that we also like to do. Basically what that means is that after somebody comes to your website, we will tag that person and we will then follow them around. So we can then show retargeting ads either on the web. So that let's say they go from your website to ESPN.com to check out some sports scores. They're going to start seeing banner ads for your practice on those websites that they visit. We can also do it on Facebook. Usually, again, you want video content there, so we can retarget them there. I will say this about retargeting. I think it works better when you are trying to sell higher ticket items like implants or veneers, things that cost more money and people think about for a lot longer, because we know that people will drag their feet on those decisions. We know that they will kick the tires and do some research. But if they came to your website and read all about your implant services, we want to show them retargeting ads for the next month and a half to try and get them to push them down the way to make that decision. And if they click on that ad, go back to your website, we know there's a much better chance of them converting that second visit. So it's a very valuable thing to do. It's something I would ask, look at your own strategy and see if it makes sense for you to do it if you're not doing it today. Okay. The fourth area we're going to touch on is conversion. So conversion. This is the process of once we have attracted people via these channels, via your website, via SEO, via paid ads, to the actual website. And now we're trying to get them to take that next step. So let's say they take the next step. So they either call you, they fill out your form, they use your online booking widget on your website so they can book directly on your schedule, or they do a chat with your front desk. All of those things, it's important. And this is where, honestly, your dental practice really needs to own this. You need to own this conversion process. And what it's made up of are sales process. So what is your sales process? If I fill out your form today and say, hey, I was on your website and I'm really interested in veneers, what is the process to contact me after filling out that form and sending you that email? What is the process on your front desk? Do they reach out to me 5 times if I don't respond? 6 times, 8 times, 30 times? What is the process you have in place? It's very important to sit down and make sure that you have that, because this is something that we see, unfortunately, all the time, where we have a dental practice and they say, well, we're getting all these leads, but we can't really get them in the office. Well, what are you doing? His first question is exactly what are you doing when those leads come in? And they can come in through multiple channels. Well, we send them an email, and if they don't respond, we call, and if they don't answer, we leave a message. Boom, that's it. That's not enough. That's never enough. Just think about the fact that if I send a message to your dental practice asking for information about XYZ, and then I get a phone call, I don't know who's calling me. And most people today on a mobile phone, we're not going to answer the phone because we get all these crap calls all the time. So if I don't recognize your number, well, I'm not calling. I'm not answering. So you have to have a strategy to say, like, this is the number of touch points we're going to do to try and get in touch with this person. You also have to have a strategy. If they do call your practice and connect with the front desk, what are you going to talk to them? How is your front desk equipped to make a sale on that call? Because that's what it is. It's a sale. It's not just, hi, thanks for calling, let me answer some questions. They need to take this mindset shift of, I need to move from just answering questions and hanging up the phone to, I need to sell this person into the practice while I have them on the phone. That mindset shift can make a dramatic increase in your numbers in your practice. We hear it all the time because we will set up tracking numbers and record phone calls and listen to them for some of our clients. And sometimes the stuff we hear blows our mind. I mean, even just the simplest thing of just saying to the person at the end of the call, well, hey, Dr. Smith has an appointment Tuesday at 10, come on in. They're not even doing that. They're just letting the call end awkwardly because they're not even just pushing to get the person in the practice. So you need to have your phone skills buttoned up tight, whether you need to hire a consultant or just put your own tracking in place so you can listen to their calls. I cannot emphasize this enough. You've got to be on top of this as the practice owner. It is so, so important. And another thing that we hear when we do call tracking, missed calls. Wow. Missed calls. And these are not just missed calls at 9 p.m. in the night. These are missed calls during practice hours. We've seen some crazy stuff. We saw one practice that had 250 missed calls in 1 month during business hours. During business hours, they were missing that many calls. That's insane. And to be honest, with that practice, it wasn't all their fault. That practice, they were doing outbound calls to verify insurance. They're doing outbound calls for appointment reminders, while they were also expected to drop everything and answer the phone call coming in. So one of the things we did is we put in automation. We just said, all right, we're going to set you up on this automated platform that will do the appointment reminders for you, and you guys don't have to do it. That saved them a lot of time. They were able to answer the phone, and everybody was happy. We improved those numbers quite a bit. So get your phone skills, get a sales process in place, get your phone skills buttoned up tight. You leverage automation whenever you can. So one of the things when we run Facebook ads and Instagram ads, like I said before, those people aren't high intent, which means they're not really ready right now to book an appointment in your practice, but still a valuable contact to have. So one of the things we'll do sometimes is run a lead magnet where we say, hey, here's 5 things you need to know before you get cosmetic teeth, cosmetic veneers. We get people's information, and then we put them into like an automated sequence where we email them over time with information about that dental practice, with the hope of cultivating that relationship till they get to the point a month later or 2 months later where they say, well, you know what? I'm going to reach out to that practice because I really do want to get my teeth redone. I want to look better. I want to look like these pictures of these people they keep sending me in these emails. These people look amazing. They look 20 years younger. Why wouldn't I want to do that? So automation is a critical piece of this as well, so that on the back end, this contact is happening. So I fill out your form. I'm getting emails on the back end from your practice while your front desk is reaching out and trying to get in touch with me to talk to me. So think about truly how can you put automation in place. Another one that's becoming very, very popular is online booking. I can say that, in the past few years, this has exploded a lot. We've seen a lot of our clients come to us and say, hey, add this online booking thing to my website. We did a little bit of analysis a few years ago, and we did see that it increases the number of appointments being set by adding that thing, by adding that widget. And I know it costs a little bit more money, but I think it's very worth it. Another thing that we are definitely seeing is that this younger generation coming up, and they're in their 20s, they're going to be in their 30s, and they're going to start spending money on their teeth very soon. They do not like talking on the phone at all. They just want to text. They want to book online. They don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. They almost think it's like the worst thing in the world to talk to someone on the phone. So giving people more options is never a bad thing. So if you can have online booking, if you can have a chat feature on your website where they can chat with you through, could be through a Facebook, could be through a chat widget that you pay for. The critical part of that is just making sure that your team is equipped and ready to have those chats. They even have AI bots now that can start that chat, get it to a certain point, and then pass it off to your team members to finish it, close the deal, and bring that patient in. So think about chats, online booking, different ways for people to contact your practice. All of these are going to help you convert more people from interested to sitting in your chair, which is what we want. Conversion, also treatment acceptance is a conversion as well. I come to your practice, you sit me down, you say, here's the stuff that we should do. Here's what you were interested in. We're going to talk about that, blah, blah, blah. You sell me, and I say, all right, I'm going to go think about this, and I'll get back to you. Well, what automated sequence do you have in that field, in that area, to let me know that, hey, just a reminder, we have, we talked about veneers. We can help you out with that. We're doing that. Here's a picture of one of our patients who just did the treatment. Look how young she looks now compared to what she looked like before. Treatment acceptance is an area where you can absolutely start utilizing these digital tactics as well. Another thing that a lot of our clients will do is, I wish there were a better word for it. We call it discount weeks. which basically just means that come October, November, which, October, September, we know can be a little slower for dentistry. So what they'll do is they'll say, okay, let's look at our database for the whole year and let's look at all of the unfinished treatment that we have, meaning that we told someone you need to get these 3 crowns. They never came back in and did it. And let's say for the 1 week in October, we're going to be having a crown special where if you come in and get your crown done, we're going to give you 25% off or something like that. So think about discount weeks where you can drive a lot of treatment that's outstanding and sitting out there, get those people back in to complete that treatment in that 1 week for that discount. So there's all kinds of ways that you can utilize these channels, texts, email reminders, automation to get people back in your office to complete the treatment that you've already told them that they need. Next area I want to talk about is reviews and referrals. So absolutely, once I've come in as a new patient and I've completed my treatment and I'm walking out that door, it is critical that you look to me and figure out how you can get me to give you a review, a positive review, and how can you get me to start referring my friends, my family, my coworkers to your practice. That's the way, honestly, you should look when you look at your digital marketing strategy. Every person that you bring into your practice as a new patient via SEO or paid ads or whatever it is you're doing for marketing, even outside the digital world, every one of those people should turn into 2 or 3 more people for you. You can do that. Like you can make that one person become 4 by getting them to refer you patients. So how can we use digital for that? Same stuff, text, email reminders, incentives, responses. Let me go through those. So for reviews, most dentists now do have some mechanism where as soon as I leave the office, boom, I get a text. How was your experience? I say, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 or a 4 out of 5, whatever the scale is. And if it's positive enough, it'll then say, boom, can you please review us on Google? If it's negative, it's going to say, so sorry to hear that. Can you please go to this webpage and give us some feedback that we can fix whatever happened to you? So you should always be texting, following up, trying to get people to give you reviews, even if it's just a sign with a QR code in your office that they can scan and do it before they walk out. I always talk about think about you going to visit a dentist. I know you're probably a dentist listening to this, but if you go to a dentist office and sit there for the hour and a half, whatever it is, you're putting your life on hold. But when you walk out of there, it's going to be a barrage, all kinds of stuff, texts and emails and stuff you got to deal with. That for that 1 hour that you were disconnected from the world, now you got all this stuff to respond to. So that text might get lost. So why not have your hygienist and your dental assistants and those people ask for reviews when people are sitting right there in your office in the chair? You can do that. You could have that personal relationship where you say something like, hey, we'd love if you could give us a review. How's your visit going? Great. Can you give us a review? Here's a thing. Just scan this. It'll take you right to our Google page to review us. Think about how you can get more on-site reviews and leverage those texts when they walk out the door. But as far as, another thing that's important for reviews is responses. So every time someone reviews you on Google, you should be responding to that review with a very HIPAA compliant response that tells somebody, we love you, you're the best, thank you so much. Google loves to see that interaction. They love to see activity on your Google Business Profile page, and they love to see that interaction between you and that person, that patient. Another thing I would tell you to think about when it comes to reviews is see how you can get patients to use those critical keywords in their review. So if you're sitting there having a personal conversation with a patient and you say, I would love it if you could give us a review on Google, here's a link to it. Tell them also, we don't want them to, it's great to get a 5-star review any way it comes. They could either give you a 5-star review and not write anything, give you a 5-star review and write something generic like, love this place, they're the best, such nice people. Or the best possible thing is they give you a 5-star review and they be very specific about what they did in your practice and what the outcome was and how great it was. So that way when somebody in your area is looking for a dentist that can do veneers very well, Google's going to say, well, boom, this dentist right here is in town, and they have reviews that we can see on their Google business profile where people are literally saying how great they are at veneers. Those keywords are extremely valuable. So really think about how you can get people to be more descriptive in those review responses. And your responses, though, to the review, be careful and HIPAA compliant. We can't say things like, we're so glad you came here and got veneers, because that's a HIPAA issue. All you can really say is very generic. We love to see you. Can't wait to see you again. Those types of things. Just express your gratitude for those reviews. When it comes to referrals, I would really encourage everyone to think about, how can you remind people to refer you? That's step one. That could be signage in the office. That could be, sometimes when we develop websites for dentists, we will put a referral thing on there where somebody can go on there, fill out a form, and refer a friend. Another thing you think about is incentives. I mean, honestly, there's nothing wrong with offering an incentive for somebody to refer another patient. Some people do care to share, which is like $25 to the patient, $25 to the referred person. What I think works even better is to have giveaways. For 3 months, say we're everybody who gives us a referral is entered in this contest to win XYZ. Could be a green egg grill, could be a beach bike, could be a Yeti cooler, something that people really want to have, but they don't necessarily want to spend the $500, $600 on themselves. But if they could win it, they would love it. So those are great ways to giveaways to get more referrals into your practice, to really incent those referrals. And then last here, I want to talk about loyalty and recare. So all these channels are available for this as well. So I have come in, I've gotten my treatment, I've completed it, I've given you guys a great 5-star review, I've referred 2 friends, and now I'm off into the world, and you want me to come back again. So that's recare. So you have your text reminders, you have your email reminders. Like I said at the beginning of this, why not personalize those a little bit more and put in information about, put in a video of you and the team saying, we can't wait to see you again, or a picture or something to make it more personalized, to get me back in there, to reactivate me. So reminders are one thing. Database reactivation. If you look at, a patient who hasn't been there for 2 years, really think about how can we reactivate this patient and get him back in the door. We work with clients, honestly, that they've been in business for years. They have a database of like 10,000 people that have come into their practice over the years, and they spend so much money still on marketing. I'm a fan of that. We're a marketing company, but I often ask, well, it's so much cheaper. You have a database of all these people that have already been here. Why not really leverage that versus spending more money trying to get new people in all the time? Just go hit this database of people that have been here once before, once, twice, 3, however many times, and reactivate them as patients. It's cheaper. It's a quick cost of an email, a text, whatever it is, versus the cost of running ads out there to people who have not been there before. So think about database reactivation. And like I mentioned before, this is an area where I really think you need to keep it in-house. There are many services that can come in attached to your CMS. Your practice management software, your PMS, and do it for you for a monthly fee or whatever it is. They have templates. They have all kinds of stuff that you can use. You can really get into the data where, people who haven't been there in 2 years get one email. People who haven't been there in 6 months get a very different email, different offers, whatever you want to do, but really map it out and think about how can you leverage your database of existing people to get them back into your practice. Social media, absolutely, practices should be posting, should be active on social media. I don't think you have to spend way too much time doing it, but if you have video content, you can share it on social media. We know quite a few dentists that really dive in deep with this. They will create video content that's fun, that's engaging, that really shows the personality of their practice, and they share that frequently on their social media, and it gets shared by their users. There are people that are patients are sharing it, so other people are seeing it. So you're getting this effect of more and more eyes on your brand, on your practice. So definitely, loyalty marketing can also bring in new patients when you're thinking about social media. So it's good to always be posting, but keep it fun. I see dental practice. I'm on 1 million Facebook pages for clients, and I see them doing stuff like the same old lame cartoon tooth, having a conversation with another tooth, that kind of stuff. I don't think people really want to see that. They don't want to see about dentistry. They don't want to, go onto social media for it. They go there for an escape from whatever is going on. So they don't want to go there and see, read an article about how to brush your teeth properly. They want to go in there and see fun stuff. So keep it personal, keep it fun. I always encourage practices to really focus on people over services and things like, focus on your hygienist's son hit a home run in a baseball game last night. That's a post for your Facebook page. Not, again, here's the 3 types of implants that you can get. Keep it personal, keep it fun. That'll keep people engaged. Really focus on moms too. Women make more healthcare decisions than men. We know that for a fact. So the more you can appeal to that segment, that group, that demographic, the better off you're going to be in terms of engagement. Newsletters obviously are always effective. Just reminding people that you're there. Hey, here's some news about our practice. Try to keep it fun. Try to keep it personal. Don't have your newsletter just be like, we added a new take-home whitening product. It's the best. Try to put some personal fun stuff in there as well to keep people engaged. So I have to admit, I made a mistake going through this. I forgot to talk about a very critical thing. We did touch on it a little bit, but I'm going to jump all the way back up to number 2 here and talk about local SEO again. I failed to discuss your Google business profile page. We did talk about citations, which that is one of them. That is what we consider off-page SEO. But let me just focus on the Google business profile page because it's very important. Google wants people to use those pages. So they are focusing a lot of their effort to get more people to go to your Google business profile than are going to your website. It ain't happened yet. They've been doing a lot of tactics to make it happen, but it is a big focus. So you should absolutely be optimizing your Google business profile as much as you're optimizing your website. And that means making sure that all of your services, all your products, all the information about your practice is correct, is there, doing posts every week on your Google business profile to keep it information flowing, to show Google that you're invested in it and you're working on it, constantly posting new photos up there. And by the way, we have another podcast episode where we discuss only Google business profile. So you can look for it there and find it and get more detail on this. But I failed completely to mention that in section number 2 about SEO. So I wanted to go back and do that. So hopefully this is a helpful thing as you plan your 2025 marketing strategy, your digital marketing strategy. And again, there's a lot more detail that we could fill in on this, but it would take hours and hours to go through it. If you have an interest in discussing more of this, reach out to us. We certainly can do that more in depth. But I really would just encourage you to really think about these areas. Think about what you're doing now, what's automated, what's digital, what could be automated and digital. What is your enhanced digital experience? Are you doing more? Do you have personalized photos? Do you have personalized videos? Really think about those things and plan out your 2025. And I know if you do that, you're going to be successful. If you need help, we're always here to help. Give us a call. But I hope that's great. Everyone have a great holiday, and we'll talk to you again in 2025.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.